And here at MWC 2018, two hot new flagship phones have launched, the Samsung Galaxy S9 and Sony's Xperia XZ2, and we're going to do a quick comparison of the specs and main features to see what the difference is. So the Xperia XZ2 boasts what Sony has termed the ambient flow design. What it basically means is the bezels have been slimmed down and it's got a more rounded finish than those traditional, more rectangular Xperias. However, it's still not quite as compact as Samsung's Galaxy S9, despite boasting a slightly smaller screen, 5.7 inches, versus the Galaxy S9's 5.8 incher. And that's because the Galaxy S9 sports the infinity display design of Samsung's own creation, where the screen actually bends around the edges of the device. Both phones are fully water resistant, however, and they both sport a glass front and back. And in both cases, they do smudge up a storm. If you're sharp of eye, you'll spot that both phones rock a rear-mounted fingerprint sensor, in both cases centrally positioned. However, the Sony Xperia XZ2's is located a little bit further down the phone than we'd have expected, so it doesn't naturally fall under your digit when you pick the device up. You're going to have to adjust your grip a little bit in order to use it. Both of these blows sport a bit of Android Oreo, and of course you get tons of bonus features chucked on top. So for instance, both phones boast a one-handed mode to help out, as they are rather large handsets. The Xperia XZ2 boasts Sony's remote play feature, so you can actually stream your PS4 gaming session to your handset over Wi-Fi. While the Galaxy S9 can't do the same, you do get a game launcher feature for your mobile gaming sessions. Sony has also concentrated heavily on the media side of things. A new updated X-Reality engine, for instance, can boost your SDR video up to near HDR quality for nice sharp contrast. And the new dynamic vibration system can rumble your phone for a bit of force feedback. Samsung has also concentrated on the media side of things with its new stereo speakers, which now support a nice bit of Dolby Atmos for a really punchy sound. And thankfully both phones have a 3.5mm headphone jack, so you can get wired as well as wireless connections. As for the display tech, it's a 5.7-inch IPS on the Xperia XZ2 and a 5.8-inch Super AMOLED over on the Galaxy S9. In both cases you get a stretched aspect ratio, 18:9 on the XZ2 and 18.5:9 on the Galaxy S9. However, the Galaxy S9 also sports a crisper image resolution. It's Quad HD Plus 2960x1440, whereas the XZ2 goes for Full HD Plus 2160x1080. That said, both phones boast some nice sharp visuals, and you can get some nice punchy colours on that IPS display of the Sony phone as well, thanks to the Super Vivid mode. So what's actually running the show? Well, it's a Snapdragon 845 backed by 4GB of RAM on the XZ2. Meanwhile, Samsung's blower rocks an Exynos chipset with 4GB of RAM. In our playtime with these handsets, both performed admirably as you would expect from a flagship device. Absolutely no stutters or stammers to speak of. As for the storage, you get 64GB in both cases, and in both cases they support micro SD expansion as well, up to 400GB. Moving on to the battery tech, you get a slightly bigger battery in Sony's Xperia XZ2. It's a 3180 mAh cell compared with the 3000 mAh in the Galaxy S9. You get Qi wireless charging in both cases, and you also get a bit of Qnovo tech on the XZ2, which just helps to prevent overcharging, which can often result in long-term damage. And of course you get those usual battery saver modes in order to make the most of your final battery dregs. Which brings us nicely onto the camera tech. Now you get a 12 megapixel snapper on the Galaxy S9 and a 19 megapixel snapper on the Xperia XZ2, in both cases a single lens. However, the Galaxy S9 does boast a dual aperture lens, which can be either f2.4 when it's nice and bright and breezy, or f1.5 when it's really low light conditions, just to suck up a little bit of extra light. And the fact that it can take a dozen images in those low light conditions and then combine them to reduce grain means that the Galaxy S9 is probably going to produce better results in low light, although we will see when we do a side-by-side camera comparison. You can shoot up to 4K resolution video with either of these devices, although the Xperia XZ2 also boasts HDR recording at up to that 4K Ultra HD resolution. And both of these phones now sport a bit of super slow motion mode as well, at 960 frames per second. Unfortunately, you can only record a brief snippet of that 960 frames per second action on both handsets. However, Samsung does boast an auto motion detect feature where just slap a box around your subject, and as soon as any action is detected, it'll automatically record that super slow motion footage. On the Sony phone, you have to do it manually. That said, the Sony phone does boast the advantage of shooting at up to full HD resolution when you're doing super slow motion, whereas on the Samsung Galaxy S9 it's 720p. And both phones boast a bit of extra smarts when it comes to the selfie camera as well. For instance, the Xperia XZ2 can do a bit of 3D face modeling using that selfie camera. And meanwhile, on the Galaxy S9, it's got the new AR emoji feature, which turns you into, of course, an emoji, which you can then use in the likes of WhatsApp. And that in a nutshell is the Xperia XZ2 versus the Galaxy S9. Which one floats your boat the most? Let us know in the comments below and check out the rest of our MWC 2018 coverage. Thanks for watching.